You're listening to In Our Headphones.
Your chance to discover the songs KEXP DJs don't want you to miss. I'm Janice Headley.
And I'm Isabel Khalili. And this is your never-ending source for new music discovery from listener-powered KEXP. Hey, it's Isabel, and today I'm joined by the one and only Riz Rollins. Riz, thank you for having me in your home today.
You're welcome.
Where we're recording from. It's a beautiful day.
Welcome to my home.
And it's a beautiful house.
I love it.
And I'm glad to be here. I'm sure most KEXP listeners know you already. You have been referred to as the soul of KEXP, as you know. But for those who don't know you, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Riz Rollins. I have been a KEXP DJ for 35 years now. I am currently do two shows. I have Monday variety show every Monday, or most every Monday from 4 to 7, afternoon drive. And once a month, I appear as a host on Expansions, a show that I helped create maybe 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly a mix show. It started out as a response to trip hop and acid jazz, and we have rotating hosts, and we play everything, but we try to keep it as a continuous mix of sorts. And that's on Sunday nights from 9 to midnight.
Pacific time.
Yep.
Or anytime in the archive.
Yep.
On KEXP.org.
Yes.
Or the KEXP app.
I say celestially. Terrestrially, 90.3 here in Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay, and KEXP.org all throughout the universe.
Universe, yeah. Who knows who else is picking up on those frequencies?
The Venusians.
I hope so. So you said you're celebrating 35 years, just like in August, I think, August 1st.
Yes.
Do you remember back to like starting and what brought you to KEXP?
Oh, I'd never forget it. I used to work at a record store on Broadway in Seattle, and the music director, who at that point was Don Yates, used to come into the store and talk about the connection between what KCMU, which is what the station was at the time, what they were playing and what we were selling. And then we get together and we became friends. And after maybe a couple of years of having beers together, he said, you might want to come down. I think you'd be good on the radio. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. Don't want to do. Yeah, don't. I don't have any vision. And then at one point, in my meditative life, I talked to Jesus about it. And Jesus said, quit saying no. You say no too much. Yeah. Way too much. So I said yes. And here we are.
Here we are. You decided to say yes.
I decided to say yes.
And I'm so glad you did.
Thank you. I am too.
Did you have like ups and downs throughout that? You're looking at me
of
course.
This should be a Zoom thing because I got face.
Yeah.
I brought face today. For the first 3 years, I didn't think it was happening at all. Don't mind the plane. For the first 3 years, I expected to be fired. I also started doing club work in the same manner. Somebody asked me to do club work, and I said no. And so for 3 years, I didn't. It was kind of deep imposter syndrome, which I've learned is a result of supremacy.
Yeah.
But it took at least 3 years for me to stop saying, I'm going to get fired any minute. And I remember the first time that I thought that, I did jury duty. And the judge interviewing actually said, I know who you are.
Really?
And I said, that's what I said. Are you serious? He said, oh yeah, I listen to you.
Cool.
All the time.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Did that help with the imposter syndrome?
Nor with the jurying. No, the imposter syndrome is, that's a demon that shows up all the time.
Yeah.
It's also coming to grips with the fact that this is truly a gift. And so you don't get a gift necessarily because you deserve it. You get a gift because you're living in grace. So, yeah.
let's talk more about that, because you also talked about your conversations with Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you have a history with the church.
I have a long-standing history,
Yeah.
which we're going to get to musically even.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just get into it then.
Okay.
But I am curious, like, how that impacts the way you DJ and like the way you respond to what's going on around
this
you.
is a service job, and as much as tempting it is to fill it with ego about what you know and where you've been and what you've seen and what you're hearing, if it's not connective, then it doesn't have any. It's got no juice. It's got no power. My helpmate in this, Russell, I developed a tagline kind of every week, and my ongoing tagline is that these are songs of faith and inspiration, and which can be misleading to the novice listener. But if you've experienced in life, 90% of what you listen to is either based on inspiration or faith.
Yeah.
Without any other kind of label on it. And it just works. So, and I also feel like I have a spiritual responsibility to represent, given a wide variety of things. When I went to Bible college 5 years, and we weren't forbidden to listen to music, but we were forbidden to dance. And I didn't make it. They almost kicked me out, a la Footloose. I had to go before the dean's office a whole bit because I'd been caught dancing. But also in my personal spiritual practice, I'd grown up dancing. We danced in the church.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago originally. And Chicago had, when I was growing up, a deep and rich and influential. It was one of the places where gospel happened and gospel flourished.
Yeah.
And so one of the artists that I've chosen is a Chicago gospel person who I saw in my grandmother's church when I was growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you sang too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I sang. I've been singing my whole life, but I'd stopped because it got to be too messy. Particularly when I was singing gospel. It was, I came up with social gospel and social religion, and so liberation theology, all of it, and so but going to the evangelical college, white evangelical college, that was also the birthplace of what we now know as far right evangelical contemporary creationism, Protestant, and just wasn't no love there. I need love.
That's what it's about.
Like LL Cool J, y'all. Like I need love. But I did give it what we call a college try, and it failed miserably, partially because I'm queer, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
You can't do what?
Yeah.
I got the sex part, but I just want to hold a boy's hand.
Yeah.
Go to the movies. Worship together.
And
even.
here you are.
Yep.
Holding hands.
Holding hands,
man.
going to the movies.
Yeah.
Church wedding, the whole. I got it. The whole thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Grateful.
Can't take it away
No.
either. No.
So obviously you've been listening to music for a long time now.
Since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
In
And I know-
Chicago, as it turned out, in the 60s. Girl, I'm old.
You've been at KEXP longer than I've been alive.
And that's
Just
half,
by a bit.
well, half my life.
Yeah.
Because I just, turned.
Any wisdom you can share?
Are you serious? That's a whole nother podcast.
Ooh, let's do one.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Wisdom podcast?
The wisdom
I'm in.
podcast with Riz.
Yeah, I'm in. It's particularly, having lived a while, how much wisdom we get from the music we listen to, on all sorts of levels. It's not just mythology, but it's straight up, not just quotable quotes, but they turn out to be really, really true.
Yeah.
A lot of truth in it. And as particularly a KEXP DJ, I think all of us are keyed into it, that we're not just playing tunes we like. We're something else is afoot.
Yeah. There are deeper messages there often. Let's talk about
well,
music.
since we've been talking about it, the first song is a song I discovered last week by an artist that I had first heard on a Tiny Desk concert that Common did, and he was one of the artists, and I had to investigate his work more. His name is Samora Pinderhughes. He did an album earlier this year that was the soundtrack to a film about poet Nikki Giovanni. And then he had a song last year, maybe 2 years ago, called Masculinity that was like, gave me the goosebumps. And he's got a new album that's not going to be out till October, as it turns out. But this is how they do. And I don't have the album title. You'll get it probably. But it's called Better.
The song is called Better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a listen.
Buzzing in my brain doesn't mean I'm good for you. Given all your pain, is it pride or shame? The habits are the same. The damage is the same. When I overeat, it's 'cause there's too much on my plate. When I overthink, I make monsters without a name. When I go to sleep, I die 1,000 ways I can't explain. I can't get back.
Sometimes you can hear, like with, some of the songs, you know what they're saying right away. With some more Pinderhughes, you don't. And so you have to listen to it a few times to hear the lyrics to get where they're coming from. So I implore listeners to investigate the lyrics.
Sometimes it's easier to lose myself than choose myself. Sometimes I wonder how I get out of it. Maybe it's the master in my head.
The next song is one of my very favorite artists ever, Meshell Ndegeocello. I've loved since her first album, Plantation Lullabies. You know, a title which tells you that the artist has a lot on their mind.
Her beauty cannot be measured with the standards of a colonized mind. Her features are broad and striking.
And Plantation Lullabies, I don't know how many decades ago, it's probably 3 decades ago. She was originally, she was the bassist with John Cougar Mellencamp's band, and Madonna signed her first album on Madonna's then Maverick label was Meshell Ndegeocello, and one of my top favorite albums of all time, Cookie the Anthropological Mixtape, is brilliant.
I was way down for the revolution until I found I was contingent upon some corporate sponsorship. And if Jesus was alive today, he'd be incarcerated with the rest of the brothers.
And she's a brilliant performer. And this latest album, No More Water, I think it's called, is inspired by the legacy of James Baldwin, who just turned 100 last week. And there are other influences you could tell, but James Baldwin is the primary inspiration for it. The song is called Trouble.
Does it incorporate any lyrics from things that he's written?
Yeah, it does. So you'll hear some recited.
Yeah.
And again, you have to listen to it 2 or 3 times to catch the Baldwin in it. But it is not didactic is a word I want to use. Mm-hmm. It's extraordinarily musical to me, which is why I would encourage you to, if you ever get a chance to see her, and I'm sure she's touring with this one.
Yeah.
That she'll blow your mind.
Would you keep me in the? Would 'cause you keep me in the trouble loop. Just be right here, right now. We can't lose our way. Oh, my struggle starts now, right here today. Oh, my we told the truth. It's time to make a change. Put our aching hearts to use.
It's, as you've heard, it's jazz and ambient, which is kind of a recent thing. And slaps in a completely different way.
Yeah.
To me.
What do you think it is that's pulling people towards ambient these days?
I think they've always liked it, and they have taken some risks with it. I know, for example, Andre 3000 has been a way of redefining himself. And I think it's also, I think for Meshell Ndegeocello, it's a tool that she uses to great effect, particularly live. It's dreamy. And then, when you're in the middle of a dream, it's mixed parts political, erotic. It's got all the things often in the same song.
Yeah. And people underestimate the power of space too. And I think that's an important part of ambient.
I think it's one of the things that we are still in process at the radio station. When do we incorporate space?
Yeah.
Some listeners don't like it. Say so.
Yeah.
I'm in my car, I'm driving, putting me to sleep. Oh my God.
Perfect segue into our next song.
Which is our next song?
I don't know.
Oh, let's see. We've got two songs.
Got two more?
And I'm stuck between the two of them. They're both artists. One is an artist that I'm supposed to know. And I just discovered.
Okay. Let's do both of them. Because it's 35 years. What's another few minutes?
Thank you. So I know the name of the artist is The Folk Implosion, and they hadn't had an album out in a decade or so. KEXP listeners know the members from other groups. I don't remember right off the top of my head who they are, but this song appealed to me, not knowing anything about it, because texturally it struck a nerve, and the song title also struck a nerve. The song title is Moonlit Kind and so that's either being moonlit kind as expressing kindness with moonlight, or I am a moonlit sort of person. Yeah. Kind. And I got it the first time I heard it. I thought, that's cute.
I like that. I really like that.
That's cute. And the group is The Folk Implosion from their first album in at least 12 years, I understand.
Bear witness to me coming out of a cave with that morning feeling. See if I behave, 'cause the moonlit kind that can't say no. I don't unwind.
Very nice. Okay, so you have one or two more songs?
I have a song from back in the day.
Okay.
And I have one more new song by an artist that I'm not familiar with.
All right, let's do that one.
Their name is Tristan de Liège. And the name of the song is New Symmetry.
We bring ourselves closer. Now we're waking up to a new symmetry. Now you're here with me. Holding on to you, we wake up to a new symmetry. Now you're here with me.
All right, so we're to the part of the episode where we talk about an older song.
Sure.
That has meant something to you.
Sure.
And I know you have at least one picked out.
I do.
Can you share which
yes.
one it is?
This artist, I believe, well, if not for the world, certainly for me and a lot of people, the first time we ever heard the term woke. And I remember hearing it and think, because the refrain is, I stay woke.
I stay woke. What if there was no niggas, only master teacher? I stay woke. What if there was no niggas?
And I thought, that's not even good English. and I thought, I know exactly what she means. And it turns out to be a political song, and it's a call to action. It's Erykah Badu, and it's called Soldier. I love it. I loved it back in the day. This is a different mix of it, which is one of the reasons why I've been playing it recently, because there's a new remix of it.
See, he's organized and he's on the ball. Never miss a day at school. And he's an underdog. Wanna learn more and more. Calling mama town and good. He's about to change the face of your ghetto neighborhood.
Great choice.
Yeah, thank you.
We haven't had Erykah Badu on the podcast yet. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, she hasn't recorded anything in
Yeah.
a while either, or anything that has come to prominence, but she will.
Yeah.
Yeah, God willing. Oh yeah.
The Crows
We
responded.
I'm telling you, I'm like a Disney princess of it. The birds are talking.
Friends with all the animals.
Yeah.
Well, what is the song? It's Soldier, and it's a new remix by who?
It's called the Super Ape remix.
All right. And we'll have that all in the podcast description.
Gotcha.
And it'll all be on the playlist that we build out
Sure.
for this podcast so people can hear the full song. But for now, let's listen to a little bit. All right. Let's get on to your last song.
So my last song is an artist that I've been influenced by my entire life, mostly through jazz. And had been a resurgence of his music a few years ago. Pharoah Sanders did a collaboration, one of his last album, in fact, collaboration with an artist, Floating Points, which is beautifully ambient and harsh. This is more of a swing song of his called Freedom. You Got to Have Freedom. And it's been remixed by an artist, Opolopo. And I also get to play this in the clubs because it starts out with this screaming horn. And you know, you listen to house music, you don't hear screaming saxes like right in the middle. So it's jarring in the best way. And I've watched people respond really, really well to just hearing that horn, and
Wakes people up a bit.
yeah, absolutely, which is supposed to. And that makes it, to me, that makes it timeless. You know?
Staying woke.
Yeah.
There you go.
I stay woke. Well, I love Pharoah Sanders, and I also love that you brought
2 older songs, but that have been remixed more recently. So
I'm about
You're
remixes
about
and
the-
edits, and
yeah.
even when they're cheesy. I tell my husband, a lot of the best sandwiches have a good slice of cheese. So every show I'm going to play something with some cheese in it.
That is some good wisdom.
For real.
Really, thank you so much.
You're welcome so
Riz.
much. Sorry we only have a half hour. I
I
can do this
know.
all day.
Well, I mean, if we start this wisdom podcast,
Okay. It sounds fun to me.
that was my conversation with DJ Riz, and he left us with the Opolopo remix of Pharoah Sanders' You Got to Have Freedom. You can listen to many more selections from Riz every Monday on Drive Time from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time, or anytime on the 2-week archive. You can also catch Riz monthly on Expansions on Sunday nights, and out and around Seattle, if you're lucky. Before we go, we have one more song recommendation, and that comes from KEXP's Associate Music Director, Alex Reuter. Alex, what song have you brought for us today?
Yeah, the song I picked for this week, for this edition, is a track by the Swedish artist, goes by the name Honey. It's off a new album that came out back in July. It's titled Light Shines Through. It's the last track on the album. It's titled I Let Go. This track, I love its combination of kind of dreamy ambiance with kind of a halftime start and stop jungle breaks element to it. And it's a track that I feel like kind of connects the dots from Pacific Notions, the show that I host Sunday mornings, because it's a song I could hear on there, as well as the type of music that Riz plays on Expansions, and kind of wanted to pick a track that aligned with some of the music that Riz has played over the years, because I feel like as I got started at KEXP and was just a DJ assistant behind the scenes, Riz was one of the first people that kind of supported what I was bringing to the station, and the type of music he was playing was something I was really into as well, because he would play really dreamy ambient stuff on his variety show and then play some just really cool electronic music on Expansions. And he's the one that inspired me to start mixing on turntables and become a part of the Expansions crew for quite a while. So this track, just a really unique, dreamy electronic tune that I could see fitting on both Pacific Notions and Expansions, and kind of a nod to DJ Riz, as he's been a hero to me throughout my time here at KEXP, not only as a human being, but as a DJ. And yeah, just one of those tracks that I've had on repeat on my headphones, been listening to it at home quite a lot during like dinner time soundtrack, and just one of those songs that just is a very cool mixture of different styles.
I love that. And I love the full circle moment with Riz and the nod to Riz on this episode with him. So
yeah, shout out Riz.
Shout out Riz. We all love him. And thank you so much for being here, Alex. Let's finish with a little more of this track. It's I Let Go by Honey. That was I Let Go by Honey off his new self-released album Light Shines Through, which is out now. And that was chosen by Alex, KEXP's associate music director, who also appears on Expansions, as does DJ Riz. Before that, like I said, I was talking to Riz, who is on KEXP every Monday from 4 to 7 on Drive Time. Remember that you can listen to all these songs in full by following along with our In Our Headphones playlists, available on both Spotify and YouTube. You can find links to those on the In Our Headphones podcast page on KEXP.org. KEXP is an independent nonprofit radio station, so this podcast, along with all of our programming, is made possible by the generous support of our listeners. If you'd like to contribute, you can make a donation of $6 a month at KEXP.org/headphones. In Our Headphones is hosted and produced by Janice Headley and myself, Isabel Kelly. Audio is mixed by Emily Fox and mastered by William Myers, and our director of editorial is Larry Mizell Jr. Our theme song is How Ma by the band Chinese American Bear. Tune in next week for Janice's conversation with Albina. I'm Isabel, and I'll see you next time on In Our Headphones from listener-powered KEXP, where the music matters.